So after today, I just basically sat in my own space, and it got me thinking, you know, sometimes this spiritual path, don't want to label it, but is about the biggest ego death you can have. You know, I watch all these things about twin flames and divine counterparts and all that jazz, right? And they tell you not to contact them, and they tell you this and they tell you that. And basically, I guess my point is when we listen to them and we're not tuning into our truest form, we outsource our power again. You see, part of this journey is about having multiple ego deaths that we detach from an outcome. We detach from an outcome because this love is not like an ordinary love. So if it's not like an ordinary love, why do we treat it like an ordinary love? Why do we ghost each other? Yes, okay, we're direct mirrors from each other as to what potentially needs to be shown in our life, that needs to not be fixed but worked on, to be changed within our family lineages, etc., etc. You know, my personal journey after I met my incredible king that I chose to do this awakening with, my personal journey went so quick. Like, it was like this monumental awakening, and I know he felt it too, because we went from not wanting to not look in each other's, like, okay, I'll start that again. We went from always looking into each other's eyes to him never being able to look into my eyes, because he knew that I would see the truth. He knew that the moment I'd had my awakening and I had met the Ascended Masters and I'd had my world flipped upside down because, you know, one night we were intimate together, he knew that no longer could anything be bullshit to me, and he wasn't ready to be vulnerable. And of course, you get hurt by this scenario. Of course, you are like, but what happened? Like, everything was fine, and now all of a sudden, you know, you can't give me the time of day. You keep running from me. And part of this journey is about accepting that person just wasn't ready to see their shadows, and maybe you weren't too, and maybe the separation was for you both to just realize that, hang on a minute, if you can love someone that much, that this different version of love comes to you, this connection, the dreams, the telepathy, the gifts that come online, if you can really start to move out of your logical brain that something bigger exists, when you meet this person, you will know, if you are destined to meet this person, you realize that you have to see it as a mirror. And if you can give someone else that unconditional love, why can't you give it to yourself? If you can see the power in someone's soul as an ancient, wise, incredibly gifted person, why can't you see that within yourself? And it kind of starts you on this journey to really ask that question, you know, like, if this is my twin, if this is my divine counterpart, if this is someone I've chosen to do this lifetime with in this dimension across many other paths, then, you know, this is my destiny. And yeah, okay, some of you may be rolling your eyes right now and they've switched off, and that's cool, because those of you that have stayed are probably the ones that absolutely love and love the idea of something incredible happens in this lifetime when we agree to meet these people. And, you know, after I had this conversation with this lady today, it just made me realize, am I a hypocrite? Am I a hypocrite when I sit here day in, day out, telepathically receiving messages and speaking to him in a telepathic way? But am I a hypocrite if I can't reach out to him in a way to say thank you and I love you and I'm so grateful to you? Because I wouldn't be sat here right now in Victor's place in Mexico if I hadn't have met this man. I would have bought another house. I would have been probably very displaced and unhappy. and stayed in that continual timeline. So sometimes words can never express because they're not supposed to. And even if I put them into poetry or anything else, it's the energy that is around them. So when you're dealing with something in a situation like I had today, where it was just like, you know what? We don't know what's happening tomorrow. So just be honest. How can we expect other people to be vulnerable? How many times have I heard this from women in particular? Oh, I know there's something wrong, but he just won't tell me. I know there's something wrong, but they just won't tell me. And it's like, well, have you had that conversation with them? Have you maybe given a piece of you to them to allow them to open up the other way? So, yeah, it just gets you thinking all these things about so much noise on the internet, how to live our life through these divine counterpart situations in these times where sometimes I sit there and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I just want to tell you I love you. And this overwhelming love that comes through for me is because I met him. You know, like I've said this before. People don't just open your heart in this scenario. They smash it to pieces. And every single piece of that heart you look at and you learn to love and you analyze a little bit and then you accept and then you put it back together. And when you put it back together, it's no longer scared of being smashed open again. You know why? Because it took the biggest smash that there was ever possible. And this smash allowed your heart to see things in so many different ways. And I think that's the beauty of this journey. You know, coming back to self, welcoming home. But I also love the fact that when you are sent your divine counterpart, whoever that may be in this lifetime for you or this particular moment in your life, there is a sense of home like you have never experienced before. And that sense of home, I believe, allows you the safety to open up your heart. And it is not money. It is not family background. It is a hug. It is a hug. It is a heart-to-heart connection that you know that if there was a zombie apocalypse happening outside, that you wouldn't care. You wouldn't care because you were safe and you were at home. And that feeling, if you have never found it and then you find it, it allows you to believe in the possibilities to everything else being possible. And I know that probably made absolutely no sense, but I'm very tired. And I guess this video is about that, just being authentically true to saying the words that I love you. And maybe they are said too often, maybe they're not said enough. But all I know is this, is that when you feel them, when you're like, oh man, I should reach out to them, then that's possibly your intuition telling you you should. Because maybe they're thinking about you just at that moment. And yeah, okay, maybe they're not ready to open up their heart to you. But does it stop you from fucking sending them a message or opening your heart up to them? No. Fear stops you from doing that. And that's the journey. The journey is to remove that fear, detach from outcome, detach from normal bullshit scenarios of runners and chasers and ghosting and all that jazz. It simply is this. When someone is not ready to commit to you, to give you what you deserve, then they will exit your life. Now, it's up to you whether you call them a coward, call them an asshole, call them whatever you will. But try and see it in the other way and have nothing but gratitude for this person. That actually he recognizes how fucking wonderful you are, how powerful you are, and that he is absolutely not a vibrational match for you. And that both of you have to learn who you are. to become a vibrational match for the incredible lives that you've planned. And some, yes, will be together and some won't. But again, this is the journey. Trusting your intuition, your inner voice, and removing all the bullshit from all the other pages and everything else. Because yeah, this journey can get very noisy when you let everyone else tell you their story. And what matters is your story for you. So an ego death is about putting your heart on the line time and time again. And knowing that every time you do, it's just one step closer to allowing the most incredible magic into you. So yeah, enjoy this poem. I often wonder, should I send you a text to tell you I love you despite it being complex? I get in my head, the ego can come in. If I'm open and vulnerable, do I have to start all over again? But as time has gone by, I've experienced many things, helping souls realign death, grief, and the hell tears that it brings. I choose to have a death of my own, to move past aversion held my heart captive, not grown, to stand up for what I believe in the most, the power in my heart and the heavenly host. Of telling you, your guidance brought me back to my soul, allowed that mirror to show me I'm whole, to heal my heart, fractions to everything, a chance to restart and the magic of wisdom to bring. You weren't scared of my gift, or my feminine power, despite it being locked in ancestral conditioning towers. For once, I'd finally met someone who didn't clip my wings, who pushed me off a cliff and cleared my throat for it to finally sing. To say you changed my life is to say I like a sunset. To say you open my heart is to say an elephant won't forget. For this journey spans from spark before time. Love is love, whatever, it's the truth from the divine. Now I speak my truth, inspired and lead as I might, to tell those I love them, outcome detached in plain sight. Just a promise to be authentic to my path, to bring people back home, allow them to cry and laugh, perfectly imperfect. Individual and our joint missions will grow. Every day new challenges and relearning as we go. But that has become the best part for me, as seeing the beauty in other shadows, acceptance to be, allowing their souls to come to the light, seeing that switch as they remember this earth fight. I pray for your family, whatever's going on. I pray that you finally get to sing those classical songs. I pray for you to find so much love in your life and the important part to connect to nature, to be your divine wife. When you get the chance, look up into the sky. You'll see a message in the stars streaming by. It's a return answer to when you talk to me, as the stars will always enlighten our path to love, infinity. There you go. Again, having an ego death is about separating from outcome, letting it go and let God, but always speaking what's in your heart. You see, you can never control how someone acts on the other side. All you can do is be authentic to yourself. So I hope that inspires you to write something, maybe speak something, pick up the phone, get on WhatsApp. Maybe an ex has come back into your thought field. Maybe you just need to say, hey mate, I'm really grateful of the time that we spent together. I really wish you well. For the time has passed, and no more pain do I wish to dwell. Just remember that it takes two to tango in everything, in every fight. When I realized how powerful I was as a soul when I was unhappy, no wonder it was bringing down the house in a way that just allowed other people around me to not know where the fuck they stood. You see, that's the thing, when you've got a powerful energy, you will bring others down. So we all have to take ownership for that and recognize our part to play. And for that, I will leave you on a poem for another day.